There you go. Thank you.
Cool.
We have just a few more minutes, and that'll allow people to kind of get their glitches out of their system and get on. And I sent a couple last-minute reminders to people just to let them know that we are doing this tonight, and we're super excited.
Well, I'll type in where I'm at because I know we won't have a lot of introduction time, but.
All right. Welcome, Devin. When you get a chance, tell us where you're logging in from.
How y'all doing? I'm logging in from Rayford, North Carolina.
Awesome. Welcome. Go ahead and type that in the chat, Devin. We're glad to have you. Jared, welcome to the call. I think you're on mute.
I'm mute. I was indeed muted.
There you go. Great.
How's everybody doing?
We're super excited. We've got quite a few people here, and it's fun. Everybody, Devin, don't forget to tell us where you're from. Oh, Lindsay, our instructors, joined on, and we are so excited to have her. Awesome. This is so exciting.
Are we I'm showing 2 more minutes. Should we give it a few more before we jump into it, just to see if anybody else joins in here?
Yeah, Rocky's on. Rocky's our student. He's a current student in the class. We can't wait to introduce you tonight.
How you doing, Rocky? Looks like he's muted. But
I'm sorry. Hey guys,
yeah,
sorry about
you're
that.
good. I kind of looked like your lips were moving a little bit.
Like, wait a minute. Ventriloquism at its best, right?
Devin, thank you for sharing where you're logging in from. That's awesome. We'll give it just a few more minutes, and we'll let Jared kind of take over and steal the show. We are so excited to have everybody on tonight, and you guys are we're packed full of some great information. So we're so glad you're here.
And then, we'll get started in just a minute or two. But did Rhonda or Adam, are you guys going to like mute the group when we kick it off? We got that all settled.
Hi, Adrian. Welcome to the call. We're so glad that you're here. When you get a chance, tell us where you're logging in from.
Hey, it's 7 o'clock straight up Mountain Time. So should we jump into it? We got looks like we got a nice group here. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Everybody got it? Awesome. So my name is Jared. I help out with administrative stuff with the Academy, and we're excited to have this call. This is the first one that we've ever had. And so we've been talking about doing this for a while, and basically we just we know that any kind of a career decision is a big decision, no matter what that is. And so we're here. We exist to help you in your career. And so the purpose of this call is we know that some people have already decided to join the class. Some people are on the fence, and some people might just be kicking tires. So no matter what stage you're at in that process, we're just here to help out. We want to help you out with your career and get you moving along. And we recognize that it's a Sunday night and it's a kind of a family night. We don't want to take people away for too long. And so we are going to keep this brief. But basically, we're just going to go down the line here. We've got Adam, the founder and the president of Aircraft Dispatch Academy, is on the call with us. We'll give a couple minutes to him and kind of just speak what's on his mind, introduce you all to him, And we've got a couple of our instructors as well. We've got Lindsay and Dallin. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Lindsay and Dallin. So, and each of these, so these are not only are they just instructors for the academy, but they're also full-time aircraft dispatchers. And so it's an excellent opportunity to talk to a couple of dispatchers. And by the way, you have the ability, if you're tuning in here, you can type any question that you have. So no matter who's speaking, just start sending in your questions, and Rhonda will be kind of looking over those throughout the course of the night, and she will be kind of helping go over those questions. So you can address those questions to our dispatchers. You can address them to Adam, and she will kind of go over those questions after everybody is done doing their presentation. At the end of, so after we have a couple of dispatchers speak, we thought it would be really helpful for people to hear from a student. So we've got Rocky here as well, and we're going to give a few minutes to him to just kind of give a little bit of an insider's view in the class as somebody that's kind of neck deep in the class at this point in time and has some great insights from the student perspective. So thank you, Rocky, for joining in. So with that, we'll get right to it. I'll pass the time over to Adam.
Hey, thanks everybody. Really happy I could join you guys tonight. I'm very excited for this call. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about doing this for a really long time, and I'm really happy that we're finally able to do it. It's exciting times. So just to give you a little bit of background about myself, my name's Adam. Again, I'm the one who started the company, the Aircraft Dispatch Academy, back in 2016. Back then, I was an aircraft dispatcher at the time already, but, going back through my story of how I became a dispatcher, it's probably similar to very many of you that are on the call tonight. I didn't have any clue what it was. I wish I would have had something like this to be able to log into and have my questions answered, because I had absolutely no idea what it was. I was studying to be a pilot, and I saw this little flyer up on the wall that said some airline was hiring dispatchers. And so I started talking to one of my instructors and just started figuring out what it was. And then lo and behold, I decided that it was going to be the thing for me. And I started going down that road and becoming certified as a dispatcher. This is going back 15 years now, but went down that road and never looked back. I have an absolute love for aviation. If you are a person that loves aviation, this is the job for you. If you love airplanes, if you love all that stuff, I promise you this is a job that you will absolutely love. And you know what they say about jobs, you got to love them, right? So if you don't love your job, it's not going to be a job that you're in very long. So, but yeah, just to kind of make it brief, because I want to give as much time back to you guys as I can. I started this company with the intention of being able to help people across the country get certified and find out about aircraft dispatch and help them obtain their dreams and help them get jobs. And we've got affiliations with all sorts of different airlines across the country. We've got dispatchers that work at every single airline you can think of in this country, as well as, other countries. We've got just a great group of instructors and just alumni, throughout the country that are part of our Facebook page, that are just ready to help you connect with the people that they work with and help get you jobs. And so that's kind of our biggest goal, and that's what we want to do. And that's kind of, the purpose of holding this call is to introduce you to this field, answer your questions, and kind of let you know what it's all about. Be helpful in your path to becoming the aircraft dispatcher. So I won't take up any more time. I'll turn it back to Jared, and we'll get on with the rest of the program here. But if you have any questions for me, put them in the chat, and Rhonda will direct them my way, and we can get them answered by the end of this meeting, hopefully.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam, and thanks for joining the call. Love to see you on here. We're just gonna go right down the line. We're gonna jump right over to I believe Dallin is going to be first. Is that right? Dallin, are you ahead of Lindsay?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be ahead of Lindsay. Yeah. And yeah. Hello, guys. Yeah, Jared, if you're ready, I can take over.
Go for it.
All right. Well, hi, you guys. My name is Dallin Strickland. I am one of many dispatch instructors here for ADA. I'm excited to be here, excited to share a little bit more about what aircraft dispatch really is. So that's what I've been asked to talk to you guys about. Again, I love aviation just like Adam, and you guys have definitely chosen a good career path. If you guys do decide to go through with this, you will not look back. It's been a blessing in my life, and I've really enjoyed it. So again, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time to help everybody understand really what does an aircraft dispatcher do. Those of you who are already in dispatch, we have this joke, right, that no matter what you do, no matter what you say to your family members, your neighbors, you are always going to be looked at as an air traffic controller. So just give up now, because you'll explain it the best you can, and year after year, you're going to be going to your Christmas parties and somebody's going to say, hey, this is my cousin so-and-so. He or she's an aircraft dispatcher or a air traffic controller, instead of saying an aircraft dispatcher. So it just happens, but there is a difference. So really quick, to help differentiate between the two, air traffic controllers are primarily responsible for ensuring the separation of aircraft into, out of, and everything in between airports. So they are responsible for making sure that airplanes don't hit each other. But then the aircraft dispatcher typically works for an airline or some sort of flight operations company, and they are ensuring that flights are being conducted within the federal aviation regulations. So the rules that have been set forth by the government, by the FAA, to ensure that flights are being flown legally. Okay, that is the entire purpose of an aircraft dispatcher, is to help our pilots, these airlines, operate within the regulations that have been set forth by the government. Now, for those of you that are on, obviously this is something new, right? So we want you guys to hear about all the exciting things. And that's kind of what I really want to highlight today, is that as an aircraft dispatcher, you have joint responsibility with the pilot in command, the captain of a flight, primarily to do three different things. And that is to help pre-flight or to help with the planning before a flight can actually occur. So you're going to look at weather. You're going to take into account how much fuel is needed. You're going to look at different airport conditions. You look at the weight and balance of an aircraft. How many passengers are we putting into an aircraft? In the bags, in the fuel. You look at the different aircraft performances. How can the aircraft perform? Are there any limitations with the aircraft? Are there things that are broken? Do I need to plan the flight differently now, knowing that something is either missing or broken? You do that with the pilot in command. That is your responsibility together to plan that flight. And it's so exciting that we here at ADA get to teach you guys those different steps and all of the different things that you have to look at in order to fulfill these joint responsibilities with the PIC, or the pilot in command. You also create a legal document called the dispatch release that has a lot of information on there that legally tells the pilot and you that you guys have both agreed on the way the flight has been planned, and with that document, the flight is flown within those legal limitations. You as the dispatcher and the pilot in command can also delay a flight. Sometimes we delay flights because of weather. Other times we delay flights because of mechanical issues, things outside of our control. But again, that's communication that's done between you as an aircraft dispatcher and the pilot. So an air traffic controller does not talk to your pilot, right? They're not saying, hey, it's, you've got a mechanical issue on the plane, you guys aren't going to be able to go. That is something that you as a dispatcher get to do. You have that responsibility on your shoulders to do that with your crew. So very exciting. We also have dispatcher sole responsibilities. So at ADA, we help you understand that your sole responsibilities as a dispatcher are to monitor the progress of every flight that you've been assigned on your desk. You issue important information to the flight crew. So if you see that there's a nasty storm up ahead, and you feel like there's a better route that they can take, you can communicate that concern with your flight crew and suggest an alternate route. You can calculate new fuel burns for them. You also have the ability to cancel a flight if that is needed. So that is your responsibility as a dispatcher. Now, a dispatcher has a vast amount of aviation knowledge. And when you go through a class or an academy like ADA here, you're going to learn a lot of different areas of aviation. You will learn about all of those rules, those regulations that I was talking about. You're going to learn about the aircraft systems. So things about how the electrical components of an aircraft work. You're going to learn about the hydraulic systems on an aircraft. You'll learn about the different flight controls and also what we call the power plant or the engines. You are truly being placed at a level, or the same level or the same knowledge as the pilot. You really need to understand the background of how these different components on an aircraft work and what limitations you may have if one of these systems don't work. Aircraft weight and balance calculations, you're going to learn about flight planning, how to properly plan a flight from point A to point B. You also need to understand aviation weather. So you don't need to be a meteorologist necessarily, but you do need to understand how to read weather charts. You need to understand how to read different forecasts. And we do that for you here at the Academy and help you feel comfortable with making your decisions based on these weather, the tools that we use for weather aviation meteorology. Now, you are also considered to be a pilot on the ground. Okay, so you really are going to have the opportunity to communicate with your pilot. Understand that you have every right to call your pilot, your captain, your PIC, and discuss whatever concerns you have. And they can do the same to you. If they have a concern, they're going to pick up the phone and give you a call. So it's quite exciting that you get to actually communicate with a pilot in command of an airline when that need arises. So you need to be prepared, and we will help prepare you so that you can pick up that phone call, whether it's you calling the pilot or the pilot calling you, and you can confidently communicate with them about whatever need comes up, because it will happen. We talk to the pilots quite a bit. Another exciting part about aircraft dispatching, you guys, is that we have what's called familiarization flights. We have the ability as aircraft dispatchers to sit in the cockpit of an airline and monitor and observe what the pilots are doing when they're flying the aircraft. From the minute they pull back from the gate to the minute that they pull back into a gate at the destination. We have that ability to be in the cockpit with them to see and observe their tasks that they have to fulfill for their job. And that helps us better understand their workload as a dispatcher. So we require, or not we, but the FAA requires that all certified aircraft dispatchers have a minimum of 5 flight hours in the cockpit annually. So that is definitely something to look forward to. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know other dispatchers really enjoy being there and communicating with the crew in that way. Very fun. And the work environment. You're probably wondering what the work environment is like, what the pay is like for an aircraft dispatcher. Typically, you work at the operations center of an airline. So for example, those of you who may not know, United Airlines has their headquarters in Chicago. And the majority or all of their dispatchers currently are in Chicago. Delta Airlines has their headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. And then American Airlines has their headquarters in Dallas, Texas. So be prepared and be flexible to maybe move around a little bit. There are jobs out there, and it's an exciting time in dispatch for that. So just make sure you're flexible with where you may need to move, right, to obtain a job. Now, pay is very dependent on the number of years in service that you have, your experience, but also the type of operation that you're working for. And what I mean by that is in the airline industry, we have two different sides. We typically have a regional side. They take care of the smaller city pairs. They typically fly smaller aircraft. And then you have the major carriers like Delta, United, American, that handle longer flights and use larger aircraft. If you start out at a regional airline, which is very typical, you can expect the pay to be somewhere, and again, these are rough numbers, you guys, but anywhere from about $40,000 to $60,000 to $70,000 a year. At a major airline, that significantly increases between $60,000 a year to upwards of $150,000 a year. It really depends on what responsibilities you've been given at that airline, but that is a range from $40,000 to $150,000 that you guys can expect after a few years of service at your carrier. Most positions in the airlines are seniority based. There's shift work involved, and keep in mind, right? Aviation's an exciting place. It's 24/7. So expect to work some weekends, some holidays, but you know what? As time goes on, and like Adam said, we enjoy dispatching. You're going to love it. Give it some time, and some of that seniority will be on your side, and holidays will come back. But definitely keep in mind that it is a 24-hour operation. We've got to keep these flights moving, and we are crucial to that happening. Also, what can you expect after graduating from ADA here from this academy? I want you guys to know that you guys are going to leave with your aircraft dispatch certificate. You're going to have a written test that it's mandatory. That's going to be completed. You're going to leave ready for a job interview. And also, you can expect once you do get a job, you're going to receive additional training from that airline that you've been hired on with. So it's a great journey. 8 weeks flies by, and after 8 weeks, who knows where you're going to be? We have seen some remarkable goals met by many of our students after leaving the academy, getting on with regionals that are wonderful regional airlines that prepare them for their end goal to get at a major airline like Delta, American, or United. Really exciting times. But to end, I also want you guys to know, those of you who are deciding whether or not to do this, Aircraft Dispatch Academy, Adam, the founder of this school, who was my first instructor at a community college way back when, this journey that I took led me to other possibilities. I currently don't dispatch, but I currently work as a contractor for the FAA, and I develop instrument approach procedures. So they're maps or charts, if you will, that allow pilots to get into airports when they can't see outside. So it's really exciting. I mean, this certificate, the dispatch certificate, can take you anywhere. And I know that I would not have gotten my job that I currently have over at the FAA Academy here in Oklahoma City without this certificate. I always thought I was going to dispatch, but there were other opportunities that came my way because of the certificate, and I'm happy with where I'm at. And I know that you guys will find other avenues to take because of the certificate. So there are endless possibilities, and we're here to help you find which avenue you'd like to take. Okay, so I really hope that you guys were able to see a little bigger picture of what aircraft dispatchers are and how they differentiate between an air traffic controller and an aircraft dispatcher, because it is a running joke. Everybody thinks we, the aircraft dispatchers, are air traffic controllers, but sometimes you just have to nod and say yes and move on. But we are definitely a crucial piece of the puzzle in the airline operations. So I wish you guys the best of luck. And like Adam said, and the other instructors will say, we're here to help. Throw your questions into the chat, and we'll get them answered for you. Back to Jared, I guess.
Yeah, Dallin, thanks a ton. And there's definitely a lot of opportunities and doors that open once you get on the other side of this course. So, and I noticed a couple people jumped on after you started talking. I'm just going to throw this out there again. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, go ahead and put your questions in the chat here, and we'll do our best to address them. And I actually thought it was a great question here from Alex, who had asked just a little bit about how, like there's so much to cram into an 8-week course. And that can be, at times that can be overwhelming, as you mentioned. And I think our next speaker, is going to cover some topics that may address that, and hopefully we'll answer your question by the end here. But Lindsay is going to touch on kind of what to expect from the instructors, and give us a little bit more of an instructor's perspective than Dallin did. And so I'm gonna turn the time over to Lindsay.
Thank you, Jared. Hello to everyone. My name is Lindsay. I'm one of the instructors, one of the many instructors here at ADA. And yes, Alex, we are going to feed a lot of information at you with a fire hose. In fact, we might send 2 hoses your way. But one of the cool things about this school is Adam has done an incredible job of curating a very eclectic, diverse, knowledgeable, sometimes intense, but really great group of instructors. And we have a wide range of knowledge. And the biggest thing that I think we all bring to the table is we're committed to your success. We will all go above and beyond to help you get this information, because it is a lot. It is intense, but we all did it and we all survived, but we want to help you get to that point too. So what you'll have is 6 weeks of online. We encourage you, when you can, to be there live, because you can ask questions and you can engage with us and we can handle things right away. And it's we'll do a lot of repetition and practice and help you get the concepts. We basically, during that time, put a lot of the bits and pieces and try to help you understand those bits and pieces. And then we're going to have you come together for 2 weeks, and we're going to be in person. And that's when we're going to tie together all those bits and pieces, and we're going to put them into a usable format that will help you guys get through that oral and that practical part of your exam, and get through this date exam that will get you that certificate at the end of the day and get you ready for that next spot. So our instructors are not only great, we all have different levels of expertise and different interests and things that really kind of fire us up. You know, Dallin just shared that he works as a contractor and is going to build those approaches. Well, is that not the coolest thing, to have the person who is building the approaches actually teach us the approaches? You're not going to find a better perspective than that. And I can go on about, we'd be here all night if I went on about the different expertise of all the different instructors and how they will bring their unique perspective to the table. And we're always here for you. We're interactive. Most of us put our cell phones so you can text us questions, help us practice. We still have students that even sometimes will reach out to practice for an interview and things like that. And most of the instructors are really great when time permits to jump in and help. But we'll help you get there. We will hold your hand the whole way. We have, during that in-person time, we'll have a few days that we're doing instructional things, but the big part of that, because we have several instructors there, are really to work with you one-on-one as your questions come up, help you practice, help you understand concepts you may not have understood through the process, but we're here to help you get through it. So I look forward to all of you jumping in this journey. I've had an amazing time. I tripped and fell into this, and I will never look back. So thanks. We'll send that back to you, Jared. Unless anybody has any questions, pop them in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. I think Marcella's questions is actually pretty fitting there. So Marcella and her boyfriend are thinking about taking the course together. He works for Air France, and his schedule there's a chance that it might kind of coincide around the same time as the class schedule. And so she's wondering what kind of support they can have available to them after class.
Well, you're going to be able to watch the recordings the next day. So we do record everything. The entire process is recorded, so you can watch that the next day. Also, if a class or one of the subjects seems a little more difficult and you want to watch it again, just to get more information, you can engage with us individually as instructors, as well as through the Google Classroom that we use. You can put in comments and questions that we can answer to the group as well. So again, if you can't make it, because I know schedules are a little bit rough, we've had people in a lot of different time zones that can make it challenging as well. So yeah, we will kind of help you get through that. But everything is recorded, so you'll be good to go. And then, you know, as many hours as you want to spend when you make it to the in-person, we will be there for you if you want to come early, stay late, whatever it is.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. And also probably a really good segue right now. We're literally going to jump right over to Rocky. And Marcel, I can't remember if you were at the very beginning of the call or not, but Rocky is one of our students. And so this is an opportunity to kind of get an insider's view as somebody that is a current student. We thought that would be helpful to you guys. So I'll go ahead and turn the time over to you, Rocky.
Hey, thanks, Jared. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Rocky, and just a little bit about myself. So yeah, I'm currently a student right now in ADA. I come from Utah myself, and I moved out to Kentucky about a year ago, and I am in the communications, the telecommunications industry, the wireless services, and a lot of things have been changing on that side. And talking to a friend about aircraft dispatch, like many of you are thinking, what is that? You know, like Dallin said, is it air traffic control or what is that? So I was kind of thinking the same thing, but as I've been looking at a new career change, talking to even some other friends that are pilots and even a neighbor who's a pilot, they're saying that aircraft dispatch is definitely a good way to go. It's a great career path. And so I decided that's what I was going to do. And, I needed a schedule. You know, I'm married, I have kids, I've got activities I got to be to, other commitments. And so I needed something that would work well with my schedule and everything. And ADA has honestly been the best for me and my schedule. And you were asking, one of the comments was about if you're not there for the class, all of the classes are recorded. And so that's a nice feature to have that, because the class sizes are smaller and more intimate. We have about 20 of us currently in the class, and I can't speak more highly about all the instructors and just how much time they take for all of us. Just being able to just even open up, like giving out their personal cell phones and being able to reach out to them at any time. For someone like me taking this career change, this point in my life, I was thinking, man, I'm kind of getting up there in age, and I figured, am I going to be the oldest one out there? And you know what? There's a variety of ages in the class, and so don't feel like you're going to be one of the oldest ones out there. There's definitely a lot of information. It's been said by some, it's like a 4-year course shrunken down into this little tiny window of 8 weeks. But honestly, like it's been fantastic. I actually just passed my ADX exam yesterday, so I'm pretty excited about that. And to go to the in-person next week and finish things. And so, yeah, it's a great academy. I really can't. It's been fantastic for me. All the other students and the way everybody participates in the class. It's been really great for me. And I look forward to what this opportunity brings for me and my family and where it takes us. And living in Kentucky, the flight benefits will definitely be nice to be able to fly back and forth and visit families. And you're in a good place. And again, I can't thank the Academy enough. And it's a great school. So I'll turn the time to you, Jared.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Rocky, and definitely there's a mix, right? Like I talk to people all the time that are asking if they're too old, and there's like retired military or former air traffic controllers that face mandatory retirement, and then they want to come over. And so Really, the only requirement on the age is if you got to be of age. You've got to be 23 or older. And so, anyways, appreciate your comments, Rocky. I'm just going to bounce over real quick and look and see if any more new comments has come in since I looked away here. It looks like there's a couple. Let's see. Adam, are you good to field a couple of these questions that are coming in?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So just we're gonna start winding this down. And so if anybody has any additional questions, feel free to throw them into the chat right now, and we'll try to get a couple more of these questions in there. If there's anybody else that really has a question you want to put out there, please throw it on the chat right now, and we'll get to them. So I'm going to go and we'll just start asking you some questions, Adam. So this is from, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Goner Brown. You're asking, once we complete the 6-week course online, are students required to complete the following 2 weeks within the 8-week time frame? Also, are the 2 weeks required to complete the 200 hours certificate, or is it more based on meet and greet?
Yeah, so the best way to answer that is that, yeah, the 2 weeks in person is part of the course. It's a big part of, it's basically the part where you take everything you learned from the 6-week online portion of the course. You then take that knowledge, then you come to the in-person class and you put all of that stuff together and you do what's called your, like the final practical applications portion of the class. So we utilize all the information you learned in the first 6 weeks, and we put it all together, and we start actually creating flight plans in class and do all the flight planning portion of the class. So it's actually probably the most important part of the class. It is part of the 200 hours. The only thing about it is that, let's say you attended the 6 weeks of this course. You don't necessarily have to attend the 2 weeks of the course that you signed up for. If you had to, or if you needed to, you could wait and attend the 2 weeks of like the next course. We've had people do that before. It doesn't have to be in the same course, but eventually, yeah, you would have to attend the 2 weeks in person in order to get your aircraft dispatcher license. So hopefully that answers your question correctly there.
Hey, Adam, if I can add, I think they also asked if lodging was included with the cost of the class.
I think Christopher was asking that, but I think he was asking that in reference to the veterans program, like the VA, okay, and whether like the VRNE programs pay for that. Yes, Christopher, they do pay for the lodging. They give you a lodging stipend, and it's all dependent on the area that the class is held in. So you'd have to just look it up for what it is for St. George, Utah. But yes, they do. So it's just like any other, like GI Bill type program or VRNE program. They all pay for lodging and everything. So, so that's kind of a two-part question there, Chris, on that in-person part of it. So the way we run the VA part of it is we do it as like a 4-week course. We'll have to contact you probably just directly on that question, just to not confuse anybody else on the call as to how it works. If that's all right with you, can we contact you individually on that one? Because being a VA student, it's a little bit different and it works a little bit differently. So I just don't want to have confusion on this meeting as far as like how it all works and stuff.
Okay. Hey, quick question on, there's a question about whether there are scholarships or grants, and I thought that would be a good time to also mention a payment plan option as far as, you know, what we're capable of and what we're able to help out with.
Yeah. So we do have a payment plan option that basically what it requires is that you pay your deposit and your first month's payment before the class starts, and then you make $700 monthly payment installments, basically on the 15th of each month, every month thereafter, after you sign up. And then you can pay it off doing it that way. There is a fee for that. It's a $250 fee that's added to the tuition. So it ends up being $47.50 instead of $4,500. But a lot of people take advantage of that option and just having that capability to spread the payments out a little bit, and it makes it work for them a little bit better sometimes. So that is an option. We don't charge interest or anything like that either. So, and we just do it all through our own billing system. We are looking at the possibility of doing scholarships and grants. We don't currently do any, but we are looking into that. That is something that we are looking at doing like in the future. So, but we don't currently do it.
Awesome. All right. It looks like maybe we're getting kind of to the end there. Looks like there's a few questions about kind of like lodging arrangements and stuff like that. And maybe those will close out unless anyone wants to kind of slip in a last minute question. But do you want to touch on just kind of the logistics side of the final 2 weeks of the class?
So as far as the logistics go, like as far as like lodging and stuff like that goes, like where you'd want to stay, typically people will stay either at a nearby hotel, or what a lot of people do is, since you spend that first 6 weeks online with all the other students that are going to be attending in person, then a lot of them get together and they go in on like an Airbnb type house together. Like they get a 4-bedroom house and they split it 4 ways. You know, everybody gets their own bedroom and it's a lot cheaper. That's probably the most cost efficient thing we've seen students do as far as lodging goes. Some people do get hotels, some people have friends, some people have family. So it really just depends. But yeah, you are responsible for your own lodging. The way that the last 2 weeks works, as far as like the timing of the class, is still the same time. However, what we do is we open up the classroom about 3 hours before it starts. We open it up for all students to come out, and we basically do one-on-one tutoring, and we allow people to ask questions and come in early. And if they're struggling or if they're not understanding the subjects or not getting the flight planning part of it, then we ask them that they come in early and they spend some time with us one-on-one, and we work with them. And we pretty much open up the classroom, you know, sometimes 3-4 hours early, almost every single day of that 2 weeks. So, yeah, we give a lot of extra help for one-on-one, and we make sure that you're ready to test. We usually start the testing sometimes towards the end of the second week. So we get everything ready for you. You test right there at our school. The FAA examiners, they come out to our school to conduct the tests, and that final practical test is about anywhere from a 4 to a 6 hour test, depending on the person and how long it takes them. So just be prepared for that as well. That's basically the final piece of the puzzle, that after you pass that test, you are a licensed aircraft dispatcher. So from that point forward, you can go start applying to whatever job, you know, wherever you want to try and work at. So, so there's 2 different tests. There's the written test, and then there's the practical test. Is that what you're referring to?
And I'll just jump in for those that didn't see that. A question just came up about, is this a paper or electronic test?
So the test that's taken, the written test that you have to take before you take the practical test is taken at a testing center. So it's basically taken on a computer, but it has to be taken at an FAA approved testing center. You probably have one close to where everyone on this call has one close to where they live, I'm sure. But the final test that you take at our school, the final practical test, that's basically a manual test that you take. You do use your computer a little bit to do the flight planning, but it's, you know, it's one that you still write out with the flight plan and everything else. So that it kind of more would be geared towards the paper side. It's not like electronic questions or anything like that. So it's basically a flight plan that you have to plan the flight from, point A to point B, start to finish. And then the examiner will ask you questions just orally, and you have to answer orally. And then everything else you have to answer via doing the flight plan. So.
Awesome. Hey, thanks a ton for the questions. Thank you, Adam, for fielding those questions. I think we're going to start to wind down just because we're 40 minutes in, and I'm sure there are some people that would like to get back to their Sunday evening. I'm gonna go ahead and call out just the web or the email address and the phone. If you go over to your chat, you'll see that. But anybody that's got any additional questions, and kind of just a recap of really what we're all about, is at every step, whether you're a student, you're preparing for the exams, you're preparing for interviews, even those questions about lodging and accommodations, we're here to help you out as best we can. There are multiple people here with us that are here to answer your questions, and there's a little bit of time before the next class. The next class does not start till January 15th. We got talking about this call, and we're just kind of looking around and going, you know what, this is right around Black Friday time of year. People are used to discounts, so we want to offer you guys a discount. And so between now and basically Cyber Monday, if you decide to join the class at any given time between now and that point in time, we're going to discount the cost of tuition by $250. So the total tuition cost is $4,500, and we're going to discount that by $250. And so I want to just make sure everybody's got this email address. It's in the chat, but if you don't see that, it's admin@airdispatcher.com. Those of you that I noticed that a couple of questions came in just right at the very end there. We're going to get back to you on those. If you want to just reach out to us at that email address, admin@airdispatcher.com. And for anybody else who would like to take advantage of this offer, just raise your hand by sending us an email. Let us know that you'd like more information, or that you'd like to take us up on that $250 discount, and we'll get you taken care of. So I just want to thank everybody for joining the class. And the last thing that I wanted to mention here is we keep a small class. It's about 30 students. Adam made a comment to me a long time ago where he said, I want to keep this class small so I can get to know everybody and get to know them, know their names, and do what I can to help them out. And so that's what Aircraft Dispatch Academy is all about. So again, let us know if you have any other questions. Hit us up through an email. If you found us on Facebook Messenger, you can message us there. We've got a phone number if you want to look at the note or jot this down, 435-414-1697. And we're here to take your guys' calls. So thank you, everybody. We went about 45 minutes. I want to thank Adam and Rhonda for help set this up, and thank you to Rocky for stepping in, and Lindsay and Dallin. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks everybody that joined this call, and we hope to talk to you guys in the future. And with that, does anybody on our side want to make any capstone comments with the Academy?
Thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate the questions, and we promise to get answers back to any of you that have questions that weren't answered. And again, if you want to take advantage of that discount, just get a hold of that email address, admin@airdispatcher.com, and we will get you set up with that discount. So
awesome.
Thank you guys for having us. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank
Bye.
you.
Nice to meet you all. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Dallin. Thank you, Rocky.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good
You
night.
bet.
I'm
Bye,
going
guys.
to bed. Bye.
Going to bed.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.